Right now, somewhere in the world, a man is destroying his own future, not because he is weak, not because life is unfair, but because he cannot control one single emotion: anger. One moment, one emotional reaction, one sentence spoken without thinking can destroy years of trust, a marriage, a friendship, a business, a family, even an entire life. And the terrifying part is, most people never realize the damage until everything is already gone. Every day, people lose opportunities because of anger. They destroy relationships because of pride. They make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. And afterward, they sit alone wondering, how did my life become this? Science tells us something dangerous about anger. When emotions become intense, the logical part of the brain becomes weaker. Reason disappears. Emotion takes control. That is why people say things they never truly mean. That is why people make decisions they regret for the rest of their lives. The ancient philosopher Aristotle once said, "Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to become angry at the right person, at the right time, for the right reason, and in the right way, that is true mastery." But very few people ever achieve that mastery. Most people become slaves to their emotions. They react instantly. They explode emotionally. They allow temporary feelings to control permanent actions. And slowly, without realizing it, they destroy their own peace. That is why today's lesson matters. Because this is not simply a story about anger. This is a story about control. The difference between weak people and emotionally powerful people. The difference between reacting and mastering yourself.
And stay close, because the next story may reveal the dangerous habit keeping millions of people poor without them ever realizing it. Thank you for watching. Your next level.
The king everyone feared. Long ago, there was a king feared across many kingdoms. He was intelligent, powerful, respected in war. His armies were enormous. His palace was magnificent. Gold covered the walls. Servants obeyed instantly. People bowed the moment he entered a room. From the outside, he looked like the most powerful man alive. But deep inside, he was losing a battle nobody could see. He could not control his anger. Even the smallest inconvenience could make him explode. If food arrived late, someone was punished. If a servant made a mistake, the king screamed with rage. If anything disturbed his comfort, fear spread through the palace immediately. Over time, people stopped speaking honestly around him, not because they respected him, but because they feared him. The palace slowly became silent, cold, tense. Everyone walked carefully. Every word felt dangerous. Every conversation felt unsafe. Because living near an angry person feels like standing beside fire. At any moment, everything can burn. And slowly, without realizing it, the king became isolated. Because anger does not only hurt other people, it poisons the person carrying it. But the king believed his anger made him strong. He believed fear created respect. He believed emotional domination was power. And because nobody dared challenge him, his behavior became worse every year. Until one evening, everything changed forever. The return of the teacher. One quiet evening, an old man arrived at the kingdom gates. His clothes were simple. His steps were slow, but his presence felt peaceful. The guards immediately recognized him. It was the king's childhood teacher. Years earlier, before wealth changed a king, before power corrupted him, before anger controlled his life, this man had guided him, not only through books, but through wisdom, through discipline, through lessons about life itself. The moment the king heard the news, something unexpected happened. He smiled, a real smile, perhaps for the first time in many months, because deep inside, the king still respected the man who once believed in him. That evening, the teacher was invited to dine at the palace. The royal table overflowed with expensive food. Golden cups reflected candlelight. Soft music filled the room. Servants moved carefully in silence. And for a short moment, the king seemed peaceful again. The teacher and king laughed together. They shared memories from long ago. The king felt lighter, more human, less trapped by power. But life often tests us, exactly when we least expect it. And sometimes, the biggest lessons arrive through the smallest moments. That lesson arrived in the form of a single fly. The fly in the soup. As the king lifted his spoon, a fly suddenly fell into his soup. The room froze instantly. The king stared silently at the bowl. Then everything changed. His face hardened. His eyes filled with rage. His breathing became heavier. And within seconds, his anger exploded violently. What is this? A fly in my soup? How can you idiots be so careless? The terrified servant immediately dropped to his knees. Your Majesty, there was no fly when the soup was served. But the king was no longer listening, because anger makes people deaf. When emotions take control, people stop searching for truth. They only search for someone to blame. The servant trembled in fear. The musicians stopped playing. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. The entire atmosphere of the palace was now controlled by one man's emotions. And then the old teacher quietly spoke. Your Majesty, please think carefully. The servant did not place the fly there. It must have fallen afterward. But the king shouted angrily, You do not understand. Small things like this destroy my peace. The teacher looked at him calmly, then softly said words that would change the king forever. The fly did not destroy your peace. Your reaction did. Silence filled the room, because deep inside, the king knew those words were true. The lesson that changed everything. The old teacher continued speaking calmly. One who cannot control his emotions can never truly control anything else. The king remained silent. For the first time in many years, someone had challenged him without fear. And strangely, the teacher's words felt undeniable. The teacher continued, Decisions made during anger or extreme happiness are often wrong because emotions change quickly, but the consequences of decisions can last forever. The king slowly lowered his eyes. Then the teacher said, Before reacting, pause. Give yourself time. Do not allow temporary emotions to create permanent damage. The king finally admitted quietly, I try to control my anger, but I always fail. The teacher smiled kindly. That is because you never practiced. Patience is a skill. Control is trained. Just as the body becomes stronger through exercise, the mind becomes stronger through discipline. And suddenly, the king realized something shocking. He had spent his entire life training soldiers, training armies, training for war. But he had never trained his own mind. And perhaps that was the greatest weakness of all. The battle inside the mind. From that day forward, the king began changing slowly. Not perfectly, not instantly, but intentionally. The next time someone made a mistake, he paused before speaking. When anger rose inside him, he stayed silent for several seconds. At first, it felt impossible. His emotions still burned intensely inside him. But gradually, something began changing. He realized anger behaves like fire. If you feed it immediately, it becomes stronger. But if you pause, the fire weakens. And for the first time in his life, the king began observing his emotions. Instead of obeying them, days passed, then weeks, then months, and slowly, the palace transformed. Servants became less fearful. Conversations became honest again. People stopped obeying from fear and started respecting from admiration. The kingdom itself became calmer, because emotional leaders create emotional chaos. But calm leaders create stability. And eventually, the king realized something profound. The greatest battle in life is not against enemies outside. It is against the chaos within yourself. Why most people lose control. One evening, the teacher explained something important. Most people believe emotions control them automatically, but that is not true. What controls people are emotional triggers. Certain words, certain memories, certain situations, criticism, rejection, stress, disrespect, pain from the past. Every person carries invisible wounds. And when life touches those wounds, strong emotions appear instantly. Some people explode with anger. Others become anxious. Others shut down emotionally. But emotions themselves are not the true problem. The real problem is reacting unconsciously. Most people never stop and ask, why did this affect me so deeply? Instead, they react automatically, and later, they regret it. The teacher explained gently, to master emotion, you must first understand yourself, because awareness always comes before control. One night, the king finally asked, how do I remain calm during difficult moments? The teacher answered softly, stay present when emotions rise. Observe them. Do not become them. At first, the king did not understand. So the teacher explained further. When anger appears, notice your breathing. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your thoughts. Do not judge yourself. Simply observe. Because emotions behave like waves. If you fight the wave, it becomes stronger. But if you remain still, the wave eventually passes. The teacher taught him breathing exercises, silence, reflection, mindfulness. And slowly, the king discovered something incredible. Peace was never outside him. Peace was created within him, not by controlling the world, but by controlling his reactions to the world. The transformation. Months later, the kingdom barely recognized its ruler. The king who once screamed in rage now listened calmly. The king who punished emotionally now thought carefully before speaking. And because of this, everything improved. The people trusted him more. The palace became happier. Decisions became wiser. Even the king himself felt lighter, more peaceful, more free. One day, he visited his teacher again. With sincere emotion in his voice, he said, "You changed my life. Now I understand. true strength is not anger, it is control. The teacher smiled gently, then replied, "You are not alone in this struggle. Millions of people are controlled by emotions every day. Share this lesson with others, because a calm mind can save an entire life." The final lesson. This story is not truly about a king. It is about all of us. Because every single day, life tests our emotions. Stress, pressure, conflict, disappointment, fear, pain. And in those moments, we always face two choices: react emotionally or respond wisely. Emotions themselves are not bad. Anger, sadness, fear, happiness. These are natural parts of being human. But when emotions control our actions, regret usually follows. That is why emotional awareness changes everything. When you feel anger rising, pause, breathe, observe. Give yourself time, because one calm moment can prevent years of regret. And remember this: real strength is not the loudest voice, not power, not dominance. Real strength is remaining calm when life gives you every reason not to be. Because the person who masters their emotions ultimately masters their life.
And stay close, because the next story may reveal the dangerous habit keeping millions of people poor without them ever realizing it. Thank you for watching. Your next level.